The reason I selected UIC for my residency was because, one, it was back at home because I'm from Chicago, and two, it was in an area and had a patient population that was interesting to me. I'm interested in minority patient population, so for me, this seemed like the best site for me to do my residency. So the specific area of research that I'm interested in is mostly in an outpatient or ambulatory care setting. So the research I'm working on right now is looking at minority patients who have multiple myeloma, and then their involvement in clinical trials, since they're not really involved in clinical trials. But in terms of what I'm interested in terms of after my first year of residency is ambulatory care or maybe a fellowship. I kind of want to do more research and I want to teach more, and I also kind of want to do a lot with pharmacy curriculums because I feel like there's a lot of change that needs to happen, and I would like to see more diverse students come through colleges of pharmacy. So my experience being Black in the healthcare field has been challenging. The thing that I think students and anyone, person of color, minority, should know is that when you get higher up in any field, especially the healthcare field, you see less of yourself in that field. And that can be challenging, and you probably don't recognize that as challenging until you're overwhelmed with all these feelings, or you're confused, or you're frustrated. And I think that's sometimes what I get in moments of throughout my career. I feel like I get super frustrated, or I'm not understood, or people label me as things that I'm not, and I think that is very challenging. You kind of have to constantly prove that you're meant to be in the space, you're not some imposter. So I think that for students it's really important to acknowledge that, and I think that's why it's also important to have a community around you, whether that be family or friends, or you join an organization. I think that is super crucial, being in the healthcare field, especially just because you're gonna be overwhelmed, you're gonna have all these difficulties, and I think that if you have that support system, it makes progressing in your career a lot easier. And I think that that's probably the biggest challenge that I have. My advice for students who are in pharmacy or want to pursue pharmacy, I highly encourage you to do it. In pharmacy especially, there's not as much diversity in pharmacy as there are in other health professional fields, and I think that needs to change. And I also really highly encourage, especially Black students, to pursue residencies, just because we need more specialized pharmacists, especially specialized pharmacists of color in this field, and I think that it would be beneficial for our patients, for the growth of the field. With more diverse minds, you get more innovation, and I think that's super important for a field that is continuing to grow and will continue to grow. So I highly encourage you guys to be part of pharmacy.